Guys, welcome back to the channel, and as always, I always appreciate all the love and support, man. You know, it means a lot to me. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about what's going on with Prime. I don't know if some of you guys have seen or heard, but on my Instagram, I posted something about it. On my Snapchat, I posted something about it, and of course on TikTok, which is the newest app that I'm on. Shout out to those guys. We passed up 100K in a month and a half, so you know, I posted something on there too. So we're definitely getting a lot of love and support all around, all across all the platforms. So I wanted to tell you guys exactly what happened, what the status is, what we're going to do next, and then I'm going to film everything that we're doing step by step. So let's get right to it. So here's what happened. So I was at a show called Cars and Coffee, and it was like 6 in the morning where I had to meet up with one of my friends that I know. And you know, I was already tired as it was. I was debating if I should go to the show, and I went anyway because it was, you know, it's a lot of fun to do something a little bit different than the normal show that I usually do later on that day on Saturdays, which is at the Scottsdale Pavilions. If it's not like some other show out of town or whatever the case may be. But anyhow, so I'm leaving the show from Cars and Coffee, and I'm on my way home, and literally I'm like 1 minute away from my house. So every now and then when you drive a nice car, whether you fixed it up like how far I've gone with mine, or maybe you bought the car and it's really nice right out of the showroom, every now and then you'll get that person, or maybe even two people, that decide to, when they see your car coming up from behind them in their rearview mirror, they decide to slow down on purpose. I don't know what people get out of that. I don't know why they do that. I have no clue, man. So if you guys know the answer to that, let me know down below what the purpose is of that. I'm not trying to put out a video where everyone is, you know, complaining in the comments or anything like that, anything crazy, but I just want to understand why people do that. I don't know why they do that. Anyhow, in this guy's situation, he saw Prime pulling up from behind him and he decided to slow down. And I was like, I don't know what this guy's doing. You know, the speed limit is 40. You can do up to 50. And this dude's like 35. I don't know what this guy's point was. So I waited for the lane on the right to clear up. The guy made a right going into some neighborhood. And then as soon as I seen it open up, I went ahead and switched lanes, maneuvered over across to that lane, you know, gave it a little bit, you know, so I can go around the guy because I'm just trying to get home. So when I went around the guy, all of a sudden, all I see is my oil from my engine bay spray up against my windshield. And I was like, what the heck just happened right now? And all of a sudden, my dash lit up like a Christmas tree. And I look on my side mirror, and all I see is thick clouds of smoke coming out of my exhaust pipes. Like, God forbid, like, seriously, you would think the car is on fire if you would have seen that from far. I mean, the clouds were extremely high, you know? So I got nervous real quick, and, you know, I made it about a half a block so I can, you know, I drove about a half a block like that so I can make that first right to go in that neighborhood to shut off the car. So as soon as I got to the neighborhood, I shut off the car. I got out, and of course, you know, my dash is lit up and stuff like that. And I got out of the car and I looked, and on the hood, if you guys don't know, if it's your first time on my page, or for the ones that, you know, have been on the page supporting Prime and myself, I have a glass see-through window on the hood, so you can see the engine bay. So the moment I got out of the car and I looked down at the hood, I couldn't even see the engine bay because all the oil splashed up against the glass. And I don't know, man. As soon as it splashed up against the glass, I was right away. I was like, oh my God, man, like all the oil is out. So I hope I didn't blow the motor. I still don't know if I blew the motor yet, right? So, you know, the car is off, and then I'm a minute away from my house. I call my dad. I'm like, hey, look, I got a whole gallon thing of oil in the garage. Do me a favor, bring that with you. Let me put some oil in this thing. Hopefully that's all that happened. I caught it in time where maybe when I put the oil in, it'll just run like normal again once the oil circulates all the way through. Because what I use is I use Mobil 1 synthetic. So if your oil completely drains out and you don't know that you're burning oil, the nice thing about Mobil 1 synthetic oil that I use is it has like this material, thick layer of material that's on there, that where even if you're running out of oil, it's still kind of lubricated inside where the, you know, inside in the motor. So anyway, my dad comes by, we put the oil in there, I start the car. You know, I hear a weird like screech sound when I start the car, like if the starter was bad, but obviously there's nothing wrong with the starter, you know. And I don't know, man. Like when he told me just drive it home, drive slow, because I was a minute away from my house. And on my way home, I looked back and literally like the smoke kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I mean, it just kept growing and growing. The smoke kept just getting taller and taller. It was literally covering up the road. Like it was crazy. Like my dad called me, said, I can't even see you anymore because he was behind me. He's like, you're covering up my entire windshield. Like I can't even see. He had to slow down. And I couldn't start to see either. I'm like, it's starting to fog up inside the car. Like, and I have my windows down. Like, I'm starting not to see anything. So it made me really, really, really nervous. I know I'm probably overthinking it, but it made me really nervous. God forbid this thing explodes. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what could have happened. I don't know any other issues that are there now from what happened, right? So when I stepped on it, went around the guy, my oil cap popped off my engine cover. And my original oil cap used to be the kind that you twist on, just like everybody else's. That's how my car used to be. And then once I put the supercharger in, that cap was replaced with the kind that's like a suction where you push it in and it just pops into place. And it has like a vacuum line that goes all the way to the supercharger. That's the reason why they replaced that. Now, I am going to go back to the original one and we're going to rerun that vacuum line back to where originally it came from. So that way I can be safe next time. Hopefully I have a second chance with the car. With that exact motor, I don't know if it's damaged just yet. I mean, when I did a cold start the other day, I mean, it sounds like it's running fine. I don't hear no knock, no ticking, no nothing like that, but there's still smoke coming out. And obviously that's because the smoke, spilled all over the engine bay. So I brought the car home. Of course, you start tripping because you're like, man, now what am I going to do? And I wasn't planning on putting a new motor in prime because I'm saving up for V2. And I'm like, now I got to take some of that money that I'm saving up for the down payment and put it towards this motor. And then people start telling me, hey, man, maybe now is the right time. You might as well just do an LS swap and this and this and that. And my supercharger will bolt on to an LS motor. It will. My supercharger is universal. I would just have to get a different bracket to hold it in place. But other than that, that supercharger will work on a LS1, LS3. It'll work on those. So either way, I started comparing prices on how much it would be for another motor. And I'm like, well, if I can find another motor from a junkyard, from a crashed V6 that's like 60,000 miles on it, I wouldn't mind because that's kind of like you're starting over again, with your miles and everything like that. Which then I started looking at the prices and I'm like, man, some of them want like $2,000 for that motor. I get mine is a 2013, but I was looking at motors that were 2015 with like 40,000 miles on them. They're still going to fit because that's an LFX motor. So the 2012 to 2015 is the exact same motor. The 2010 to 2011 is completely different. So mine being a 2013 will work with the 2015, same exact motor. But I don't know, man. Then I started comparing the prices, and then some people were like, how much do you think it's going to cost to do all that? Because, you got to take out some of the parts that you had, like your bigger injectors from the ATSV. You got to take those out, take out your Kohler spark plugs, replace a few things, which obviously it'll be easier when the engine is out and it's exposed like that. But still, it's a process, right? So some guys were like, look, dude, for another $1,000, bro, if it's gonna cost you like $3,000 to do all that, to do everything, then for another $2,000, you can LS swap that thing, and you might as well do that because everything else on the car is a V8. The rear end is a SS rear end. The fuel system is the ZL1 fuel system. The springs, the brakes, everything is from the SS. It's literally everything on the car is from a V8 except for the motor, right? So I know I have 511 horsepower because of the supercharger, but then I started thinking, man, if I can plug that supercharger on a V8, like, yeah, that would be pretty intense. I mean, I'd be happy if that thing gave me like 550 wheel. That would be pretty fun. So either way, I started thinking like that. But then again, I started thinking I'm planning on bringing V2 home. So I'd rather keep this the way it is, all original, the way it's always been. That's what got me where I am today, is because of how many liters that motor is and how much I've pushed and didn't listen to any of the negative feedback. Turned a lot of the negative people into positive people where they weren't believing at one point, and they seen all my struggles and everything I went through and been through, and now they believe in me too. So now they reach out to me and say, hey, how can I do this with my lights or my seats and steering wheel and dash and sound system and exhaust? What did you do? What do you recommend? Right now I have 2.5-inch pipes. Should I do 3-inch? Even if it's on a V8. I mean, they ask, the people want to know. Some people don't know. Either way, man, I just wanted to jump on here and just let you guys know the status. I will be recording another video, hopefully this Friday. I'm planning on trying to check the oil pump No, the oil filter. I'm going to check the oil filter, open that up because it's right up top. It's very easy to get to. And hopefully, crossing my fingers, there is no metal shavings inside. If there is no metal shavings inside, we're moving in the right direction. And then from there, I'm going to take out the spark plugs, check on those, see if, maybe the plug, one of them is bad now, or maybe the piston rings, if I can get to that. I'm going to do a little bit of digging. And if anything, I know that I'm working on a couple of mechanics to look at the car. If anything, and it makes it more simple where one of the mechanics is my relative, if he can like do it here at my house instead of me taking it to the shop, that would be amazing, because then I don't got to drive the car, don't got to risk any damage, just work on it right here. I got all the tools in the world. I just want to jump on here, you guys. I didn't mean to talk your ears out for 11 minutes, but I wanted to keep you guys up to date what's going on. I literally had just posted to you guys that I'm going to start doing videos where, I could do a pull and check the exhaust and what it sounds like and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden the oil cap pops right off, with pressure. So I'm definitely going to make sure that I fix that so that doesn't happen ever again. And I'm going to go back to the factory cap, and reline everything up. It is what it is. So just cross your fingers that the motor's not gone. I don't know if it's gone yet. I don't know if I blew the motor yet. I hope not. So far, it doesn't sound like it is, but there's still smoke and there's still oil, little cracks in corners. So I'm going to have to spray it with like degreaser or something like that and pressure wash it off and try to clean it all up. So either way, man, if this is your guys' first time on my page, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. That really, really helps out. If you haven't seen any of my other videos where it says Camaro ZLS, and then click on that right there, and that'll take you to the rest of my videos. You can see all the wraps and everything that I've done before in the past. This is my 4th wrap with everything that I've been through, from the goods, the bads, back to the goods. It's a journey. It's a mission. It's a part of the story. This is what's supposed to happen, is how I look at it. I'm just grateful things didn't become worse, because when that happened and all the smoke and stuff, I was grateful enough where I could pull over and not cause an accident or me get hit by somebody because they can't see or whatever the case may be. So I'm very grateful for that. So I really, really thank you guys. Leave a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe to the page. If it's your first time on the page, be sure to subscribe down there, man. It means a lot. We're on the road to 10,000, and I'm very, very grateful, man. In the meantime, between time, DILLA, Promenader, out. Peace.
Always send.